Ever wished for like a financial roadmap,
Yeah.
a real plan to build wealth? Not just getting by, but really building it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Jerry Adkins, pronounced Gary,
Yeah.
offers in his book, The Real Wealth Blueprint, Better Banking, Borrowing, and Investing. It's the first. Did you know
I
this?
did.
It's the first in a 10-part series.
10 parts.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is book one.
Yeah.
And it's packed with insights. 10 books, that's a lot of insights. What I found really interesting is that Gary doesn't just give you like tips and tricks. He's built a system.
Yeah, a whole system.
It's a whole system. This book is like the foundation. It gives you a high-level view of his 9-step process.
That's right. It's like the blueprint. So you get the overview, the foundation, and then each book after that goes into more detail about a specific aspect of that 9-step process.
It's like a step-by-step guide.
Yeah.
So this book is step 1, and then you go to book 2, step 2, and so on.
Exactly. It's a very systematic approach. And I think that's what makes it so effective, because he's not just throwing a bunch of information at you all at once. He's breaking it down into manageable chunks.
And he starts with mindset. Before he even gets into like the nitty-gritty of finances, he spends a lot of time talking about the importance of mindset.
Yeah, that's actually a key part of his process. He calls it the DDP process, discovery, diagnosis, prescription. It's about understanding your relationship with money, where you are now, and then creating a plan to bridge that gap.
That makes sense. You have to get your head in the right place before you can start making any real progress.
Exactly. It's like building a house. You need a strong foundation before you can start putting up the walls.
So this first stage, this control stage, what he calls financial control, or FDC, it's all about mastering your money before you move on to anything else.
That's right. It's about getting a handle on your cash flow, understanding your income and expenses, and really taking control of your financial situation.
And a big part of that is building financial literacy, right?
Right.
Really understanding how money works.
Absolutely. He doesn't want you to just blindly follow his advice. He wants you to understand the why behind it all. He wants you to become financially savvy.
And he also talks about credit, and not just personal credit, but business credit too. Why is business credit so important in his system?
He sees it as a powerful tool for leveraging opportunities. He talks about using business credit to fund investments, to grow your business, to create those multiple streams of income. He even recommends setting up specific business structures, like a Wyoming company.
A Wyoming company. Okay, now you're getting into some advanced stuff.
He doesn't shy away from it. He's speaking to people who are serious about building wealth, people who are willing to think outside the box and utilize all the tools available.
And it's like he's giving you the blueprint for building a financial empire.
He is, but it's not just about building an empire for the sake of it. It's about creating a life of freedom and abundance.
So you've got control of your finances. You're starting to think strategically about credit and business. What's the next step in this real wealth blueprint?
Stage 2 is all about cash, or as Gary calls it, your financial security number.
All right, break that down for me. What is this financial security number?
It's your safety net, the amount of cash you need to feel truly secure, to weather any storm that comes your way.
It's like your financial fortress.
Exactly. But it's not just about stuffing money under your mattress. Gary recommends having different accounts for different purposes: an emergency fund, a passive account, and an active account.
Okay, so multiple accounts. What's the thinking behind that? Why not just have one big pot of money?
It's about having a strategic approach. Each account serves a different purpose. And by separating your money this way, you can optimize your finances and make sure you're always covered.
Okay, so let's start with the emergency fund. How does Gary approach this differently?
Well, he recommends having at least 6 months' worth of living expenses in your emergency fund. That's more than what most financial advisors recommend.
So if you lose your job, you have 6 months to figure things out.
Exactly. And you're not just sitting on this money. He recommends exploring conservative investment options for a portion of your emergency fund, like high-yield savings accounts or short-term bonds.
Okay, that's interesting. So even your emergency fund can be working for you, generating a little bit of passive income.
Exactly. He's always looking for ways to optimize your finances, even in the most unexpected places.
And what about the passive account? This is the one where he recommends gold, right?
That's right. He's a big believer in gold as a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty. He sees it as real money, something tangible that has held its value for centuries.
Okay, I can see how that might appeal to some people, especially those who are distrustful of traditional currencies. But isn't gold a bit risky?
He argues that it's actually less risky than traditional investments like stocks and bonds, which can fluctuate wildly. He sees gold as a safe haven asset.
So if the stock market crashes, your gold will still be there.
Exactly. He believes it's a crucial part of a well-diversified portfolio.
So the passive account is about wealth preservation, protecting yourself from potential risks. What about the active account? Is this where we finally get to investing?
You got it. The active account is where you start putting your money to work, actively investing in assets that have the potential for growth.
Okay, so real estate, stocks, that kind of thing.
He talks about a wide range of assets, from real estate to stocks to even digital assets like cryptocurrencies.
Wow, so he's not afraid to explore those more unconventional investment options.
He's not. He's always looking for opportunities to maximize returns and stay ahead of the curve.
So in stage one, you master your finances. In stage two, you build your financial fortress with these different cash accounts. What about stage three? What's the ultimate goal of this real wealth blueprint?
The ultimate goal is to create enough passive income to cover all your expenses, to achieve what he calls financial independence.
And he actually provides a roadmap for doing this.
He does. He lays out a system for identifying and investing in passive income-producing assets.
Okay, but how do we even know what those assets are? Where do we find them?
He talks about a variety of strategies, from real estate rentals to dividend-paying stocks to creating and selling digital products. He even encourages exploring things like peer-to-peer lending and royalty streams.
Wow, this is starting to sound a bit overwhelming. How are we supposed to keep track of all these different options?
That's where education and community come in. Gary emphasizes the importance of continuing your financial education and surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. He even mentions this exclusive group called the IBC Club.
The IBC Club, what's that?
It's a network of people who are following Gary's blueprint. They share ideas, support each other, and learn from each other's experiences.
It's like having a team of financial advisors in your pocket.
Exactly. It's about creating a community of support and accountability.
It's like he's not just giving you a roadmap, he's also providing you with a vehicle and a driver to help you reach your destination.
That's a great analogy. He's giving you everything you need to succeed.
This is all starting to sound very compelling. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's break down each stage of Gary's blueprint in more detail.
Sounds good to me.
What are some of the key takeaways from stage one, the control stage?
One thing that really stuck with me was his emphasis on tracking your expenses. He wants you to be meticulous about tracking every dollar you spend, no matter how small. He even has a specific method he calls the 7-day spending journal.
A spending journal? That sounds a bit tedious.
It might seem that way, but it's all about awareness. He wants you to really understand where your money is going so you can identify areas where you can cut back and save more.
So it's not just about cutting back, it's about being strategic with your spending.
Exactly. And he also talks about creating multiple streams of income.
Ah, the side hustle.
He's a big believer in that. He wants you to leverage your skills and talents to create additional income streams, even if it's just a small side hustle at first.
And he even recommends setting up a business checking account, even if you don't have a full-fledged business yet. Why is that?
It's about separating your personal and business finances. It creates a clear distinction and helps you track your income and expenses more effectively. It also establishes a professional mindset from the get-go.
So in stage one, you're not just mastering your money, you're also laying the groundwork for future business ventures and creating that entrepreneurial mindset.
Exactly. It's about building a strong foundation, both financially and mentally.
And this foundation is crucial for navigating those later stages where you start building your cash reserves and actively investing.
Absolutely. Without a solid base, it's difficult to build anything sustainable.
This is already so insightful, but we've only just scratched the surface of Gary's Real Wealth Blueprint. What are some of the other key takeaways you gleaned from this first book?
Well, one thing that really resonated with me was his emphasis on understanding your risk tolerance. He doesn't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to investing. He wants you to identify your own comfort level with risk and choose investments that align with your personal profile.
That makes sense. Not everyone is comfortable with high-risk, high-reward investments.
Exactly. And he doesn't shy away from alternative investments either. Remember his emphasis on gold? He also talks about real estate, precious metals, even investing in digital products like online courses.
So he's encouraging people to think outside the box, to explore unconventional investment opportunities that might not be on everyone's radar.
He is. He wants you to diversify your portfolio and find those hidden gems that can potentially generate significant returns.
And, of course, he emphasizes the importance of continuing your financial education. He's not just giving you the fish, He's teaching you how to fish.
That's right. He even mentions his 10-part book series, saying that this first book is just a high-level overview. He says that each subsequent book goes deeper into a specific aspect of his system, building upon the previous book.
Oh, so it's like a progressive masterclass in wealth building.
It is. He's taking you step by step, guiding you through the entire process.
Wow, he's really thought this through.
He has. It's clear that he's passionate about helping people achieve financial success.
And it's not just about making money. It's about creating a life of freedom and abundance.
Right. It's about living life on your own terms.
I love that. And I think that's a perfect segue into our final takeaway from this first book.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
Beyond the practical advice, what really struck me was Gary's emphasis on mindset and the psychological aspects of wealth building. He talks about the importance of believing in yourself, overcoming limiting beliefs, and embracing an abundance mentality.
That's so important. Our thoughts and beliefs can either sabotage or support our financial success.
Exactly. And Gary provides some really valuable insights and exercises to help readers shift their mindset and develop a more empowering relationship with money.
He even talks about the power of visualization and setting clear financial goals. He says it's not just about the numbers, it's about aligning your thoughts and actions with your desired outcomes.
It's like he's saying you have to believe it before you can see it.
He is, and he provides the tools and techniques to help you do just that.
So it's not just a financial blueprint, it's also a blueprint for personal growth and transformation.
That's a great way to put it. It's about creating a life of abundance, both financially and personally.
And speaking of abundance, don't forget about Gary's upcoming webinar, where he'll be sharing more insights into his system.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He mentions that in the book. He says it's a great way to learn more about his approach and see if it resonates with you.
Perfect. We'll be sure to include the details in the show notes.
Sounds good.
This is all starting to sound very compelling. But before we get too carried away, we still have 2 more parts of this deep dive to go.
That's right. We still need to unpack those cash accounts in more detail and explore his approach to investing.
So stay tuned, folks. We're just getting started on this journey to real wealth.
Can't wait. Okay, so we left off talking about Gary's 3 different accounts, right? For stage 2, the cash stage.
Right, the emergency fund, the passive account, and the active account.
Yes. So let's dig into those a little more. First, the emergency fund.
Okay.
This one I think is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But Gary has a different take on it than like the typical advice you see out there.
Right, usually it's like 3 months of expenses.
Yeah. 3 months. Gary says 6. 6 months of personal and business expenses. At least.
At least, okay.
Yeah.
That's a much bigger cushion.
Right. So that's to cover you if you lose your job or if your business takes a hit or any unexpected expenses come up. Anything, really.
Yeah, like a medical emergency or a car breaking down.
Exactly. And he doesn't want you to just like hoard this cash.
Right.
You can invest a portion of it
Oh, really?
conservatively. He suggests things like high-yield savings accounts or short-term bonds.
Okay, so you're still being cautious, but you're also making that money work a little bit.
Exactly. Making
Yeah.
it work for you. Now, the passive account, this is where things get a little more interesting.
Yeah, this is the one with the gold.
Right. Gold. This is Gary's big thing.
Real money.
Real money. Tangible asset. Intrinsic value. He loves it.
Okay, but why gold? I mean, isn't that a little bit old-fashioned?
Well, he sees it as a hedge against inflation. He says it's a safe haven when things get crazy in the economy.
Like when the dollar loses its value.
Exactly. And he points to historical examples to back up his claims.
Okay, like what?
Like the 2008 financial crisis. He says gold prices went up while everything else was tanking.
Interesting.
Yeah. And he quotes J.P. Morgan, the famous banker.
Oh, yeah.
He said, "Gold is money. Everything else is credit."
Wow. So Gary's in good company.
Right. He sees gold as a way to preserve your wealth in the long term.
Okay, I can see why he's so passionate about it. It's like a safety net for your safety net.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the emergency fund for immediate needs. We've got the passive account for long-term wealth preservation. What about the active account?
This is where the fun begins. This is where you start investing for growth.
Okay, so stocks, real estate, all that good stuff.
He talks about a wide range of assets. Stocks, bonds, real estate, even those digital assets we talked about earlier.
Right, the cryptocurrencies.
Yep. He's all about diversification, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Makes sense. So how do you even begin to figure out where to invest? It seems like there are so many options.
That's where education comes in. Gary emphasizes the importance of understanding different investment strategies and doing your research.
Okay, so don't just jump into anything blindly.
Exactly. And this is where that IBC club comes in handy too.
Right, the community of like-minded individuals.
They can share their experiences, offer advice, and help you learn the ropes.
So it's like having a mentor or a guide to help you navigate the world of investing.
Yeah, it's a great resource. And Gary himself is active in the community, so you might even get to interact with him directly.
Okay, so now we're talking about stage 2, we're building our cash reserves, and we're starting to think about investing. What's the next step in this journey? What's the ultimate goal?
Stage 3, this is the exciting part.
I know, this is where it all comes together.
Cash flow. Or as Gary calls it, the financial independence number, your FI.
FAN. It's the magic number, right?
Yeah, the number where your passive income covers all your expenses.
You're financially free.
You're free. You don't have to work another day in your life if you don't want to.
That's the dream.
Ah.
But how do you actually get there? Does Gary give us a plan?
He does. It's not about winning the lottery
Okay, good.
or striking it rich quick.
Yeah.
It's about building multiple streams of passive income.
Okay. Multiple streams.
Yeah,
So not just relying on one source.
exactly. Spreading your risk, creating a safety net of income.
So what are some of these streams?
Real estate's a big one.
Yeah, rentals?
Rentals, dividend-paying stocks,
Okay.
creating and selling digital products.
Like online courses?
Like online courses, ebooks, things like that. But he also encourages you to think outside the box.
Outside the box? Okay, I like that.
Yeah, like peer-to-peer lending.
Peer-to-peer lending, what's that?
You become the bank.
Oh, interesting.
You lend money to people or businesses,
And you get the interest.
and you collect the interest.
Okay.
He also talks about royalty streams,
Royalty streams.
like music rights or book publishing rights.
Oh, wow.
You're buying a piece of the future earnings.
That's a whole different level. So you're kind of like a mini venture capitalist.
Yeah, exactly. Funding projects and sharing in the profits.
I like it.
So the goal is to build up these streams so that eventually they exceed your expenses.
And that's your FIN, your financial independence number?
Exactly. You've reached financial freedom.
Mm.
But it doesn't stop there. Gary talks about optimization and automation.
Okay, so you're not just sitting back and collecting checks.
No, you're constantly looking for ways to improve your systems, to make things more efficient, to make your money work harder for you.
So it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Using technology to your advantage, automating your finances, minimizing expenses.
And this is where the IBC Club can help, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The community is there to support you every step of the way, share ideas, offer advice, keep you accountable.
So it's like having a mastermind group for your finances.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. Gary's Real Wealth Blueprint, it's really comprehensive. It covers everything from mindset to cash flow to investing.
It's a whole system. It's not just about making money. It's about creating a life of freedom and abundance.
And what I really appreciate is that he doesn't shy away from those more advanced concepts. He really pushes the boundaries of traditional financial advice.
Yeah, he encourages you to think big and to be mold.
So if you're ready to take control of your financial future, I highly recommend checking out Gary's book, The Real Wealth Blueprint: Better Banking, Borrowing, and Investing. It's the first in a 10-part series, and it's available on Amazon.
And don't forget about his upcoming webinar. He'll be sharing more insights into his system and answering questions. You can find all the details on his Linktree page, which is linktr.egafamilyoffice.
All 10 books in the Real Wealth Blueprint series are also available on Amazon. They build upon each other. So after reading book 1, move on to book 2, and so on.
It's like a step-by-step guide to building wealth.
This deep dive has been truly eye-opening, and I hope it's inspired you to start building your own real wealth blueprint.
Me too. It's time to take control of your financial destiny.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.